All right, so today I'm outside, getting a little sun, getting a little walking around. It's helpful. I didn't get started until late today. I think it was just kind of life got in the way. So, three things that I kind of got today. So the website, as far as the one that was given to me by Podbean, is kind of, how should I say, generic maybe? Just a little light. It doesn't have a lot of the functionality. So, of course, the missus does things, and she built part of a website in Wix for me, and that seems to be the way to go. Seem to have found a lot of the right tools as far as in the future thinking, things like generating an email list for distribution, marketing, things like being able to accept payments. So if I ever wanted to convert this into some type of monetary thing, which could or could not happen, I'm not sure yet, that I could monetize the podcast. I have the ability, or if I decide to do, for example, consulting services, if somebody happens to like what's actually going on here, it could be really advantageous for me to have those options in there. Not overly expensive, so at $8.50 a month, $8.50, it's something that's also doable. However, I did plug it into the budget, and based on everything else that I have, it looks like I'm already at about $60 a month or so. And so that's including, for example, Podbean and the Wix site and what I paid for Airtable and all these little ones. So, Soundtrap at $11-12 an hour, or not an hour, but a month. So it's one of those things that can start adding up. It's not the end of the world right now, but it's just something to keep an eye on, hence why I have the budget to kind of look at things like that. It does offer me that flexibility though. I sent about 3 or 4 people additional invites. I do get invites. A lot of people seem to be still posting, finding those are coming in on LinkedIn. So pretty much, I posted on LinkedIn. If anybody likes it, I go on there and say, hey, I saw you liked my post on LinkedIn. Do you want to be a co-creator? Blah, blah, blah. Responses are okay. I have to stop this. I have to stop judging everything that I do and just continue to do it and reach out to people. So 2 or 3, 4 people a day come in. I see a lot of people have been sending out a lot of emails, haven't got a ton hit back, so I have to probably start sending a few more nudges to some folks and just kind of get them hopefully on board. It's one of those things where I know I'm not particularly good at checking personal email all the time, even though I get the notifications, right? But it's email. It's not as fast as, let's say, text or push notifications these days. So gotta look into that, but just learn to stay persistent and not judging. Also had a YouTube entry post, the very first one of these vlogs today. So that was kind of nice. Pushed that out about 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock this morning. Not as difficult as I thought. Of course, pushed it to a couple of different platforms. First one being, Instagram or Twitter, LinkedIn page, Facebook page, and then also, let me see, I pushed one to the Instagram site as well. And so now I have to kind of figure out, it seems like I have majority of the social medias down. I just have to figure out how to do how I'm going to do TikTok. I got to work that in to get a little bit more traction and see what to do there. So I know what I want to do. I just have to carve out the time to be able to do it, because it's a little bit of a different animal. The others are a little bit more established, so I'm not exactly sure how I want to go with TikTok. I'm leaning towards using the react button and the duet button to try and merge some people's ideas together and see how that might work, and kind of give them an idea and say, hey, not necessarily reach out to them, but just mash them together and start posting on my stuff. However, a lot of TikTok is moving and dancing because it's a musical, based platform. So I'm gonna have to get creative and try and figure that out. But it did feel good because although everybody wants their stuff to blow up. I'm finding that it's very easy for me because I'm a big picture thinker, and I always see these grand ideas with all these things that are possible. The fact that this is so large and there's so much that I want to do with it, I have no choice but to kind of take a step back, break it down into small chunks, and we only be able to do that day by day by day. So that's really helpful for me to kind of stay aligned from a time perspective. So for any of you out there, I would strongly encourage that if you're looking at it. I mean, I use these little post-it notes all the time, and pretty much it just tells me what I'm going to talk with you guys about, 3 to 4 things that I want to get, accomplished for today, 3 to 4 things I did get accomplished for today, and then what I learned from those things, and then just roll that off every single day that you work on it, and try and do that. So that way, 1, you know what you're working on, 2, you've completed what you're working on, and 3, you've learned something from it. So it's this power of exponential kind of 3s that I'm working with right now, and I really just stumbled upon it, but it really seems to be helping because it's every single time I have this ongoing list of what's coming in, what's going out, and stuff that I'm learning, and it's easy for me at that point in time to 1, make content to share with you guys, and then 2, to actually continue the podcast moving forward and getting everything that I want to get accomplished with it. So it's serving a whole lot of purposes that I'm really happy with. So tomorrow, so my learnings for today, I'm not even going to talk about tomorrow, I'll worry about tomorrow. Learnings for today were stay persistent, start judging yourself. Other one was feel good about the consistency that you make. If you find something that works for you, that's great. For me, it seems to be these little stickies that have seemed to really help, because I think if I made like a giant list, it'd kind of get overwhelming. So the fact that you can only fit, 5 to 7 things on a little post-it note means it's like, okay, I can get through all that today. And then finding the right tools for your job. So I found the Wix, and a lot of it is research beforehand, but if I hadn't found the Podbean, I wouldn't have found that website, in which I wouldn't have thought about a different website. So everything kind of flows in for in due time. So we'll catch up tomorrow.